Chosen one, listen to me carefully. This message is not for the curious, not for the lukewarm, not for those who play with the things of God. This is only for those who know they have been marked, separated and called. If you are not walking the divine path, you will not understand this. But if your spirit is stirred right now, stay. Heaven is speaking to you. This word has found you at the exact moment it needed to. Someone in your family needs your help, and God is sounding an alarm through this message. Before we go further, I want you to do something in faith. Go to the comments and write only one number that your spirit is drawn to. 777-333-999-666 or 444. Just one. That will be your sign of agreement with this word. If you feel this speaking to you, subscribe to this channel, tap the bell icon, and share this video with another soul you believe may also be chosen. Obedience in moments like this opens doors that prayer cannot open. Stay with me until the end. By the time this message is finished, you will understand why God is warning you now, who this word is about in your family, and what heaven expects you to do next. This may be the message that shifts the story of your bloodline. Recognizing the divine signal in this message. Chosen one, understand something very clearly. Messages like this do not appear in your life by accident. The world will call it coincidence, the distracted will scroll past it, but those who walk with God know that there is no such thing as random when it comes to the Spirit. When heaven wants your attention, it will interrupt your routine. It will break into your day, and it will place a word in front of you that your soul cannot ignore. You did not stumble here. You were guided here. There is a reason this video rose through the noise of thousands of other voices and rested in front of your eyes. Spiritually, this is a signal. It is a quiet but powerful alarm ringing inside your spirit saying, "Wake up, pay attention, something important is happening in your bloodline." The fact that you are still listening already reveals who you are. The chosen do not just receive information, they recognize confirmation. You have felt this pattern before. Something tells you to pray for someone, and later you find out they were in danger. You think of a person you have not seen in a long time, and suddenly they call you. You feel a heavy burden for no obvious reason, and then a crisis breaks out. These are not random feelings, these are divine signals. God communicates with His chosen ones in ways that are often subtle but persistent. Sometimes it is a dream that will not leave your mind. Sometimes it is a scripture that keeps repeating itself in your heart. Sometimes it is a sudden sense of urgency about a person, a place, or a situation. You may not always understand it with your mind, but your spirit knows when heaven is speaking. Right now, that same spiritual language is being used to reach you. This message is one of those signals. It is not loud, but it is precise. It is not dramatic, but it is deeply personal. Heaven is drawing a line around your attention and saying, "Do not ignore this." When God goes this far to reach you, it is because something in your family is at a critical point. Someone is closer to danger, confusion, or destruction than they appear to be on the surface. God is revealing this to you because He trusts you with the responsibility. Not everybody in your family has the same level of sensitivity. Not everybody hears God in the same way. Some are asleep spiritually, some are rebellious, some are too wounded to hear anything clearly. That is why in many families there is one who feels more, sees more, senses more, and carries more. That is the chosen one. That is the one heaven taps on the shoulder when something must shift in the bloodline. That is why you are here. You may have noticed this burden in your own life. From a young age, you felt different from the rest. They laughed at what you could not laugh at. They enjoyed what grieved your spirit. You saw patterns of darkness in your family that others normalized. You looked at the same story everyone else was living, but you knew in your soul, this cannot continue like this. That internal reaction was not pride. It was discernment. It was your calling whispering to you. Now God is no longer whispering. He is speaking clearly. This message is His way of saying, you were right to feel what you felt. You were right to notice what you noticed. You are not crazy. You are called. The divine signal in this moment is that everything in your journey has been preparing you for assignments like this. To recognize when a member of your family is under attack and to respond, not with fear, but with spiritual authority. Sometimes the divine signal looks like repeated reminders about a specific person. You wake up thinking about them. You feel uneasy when their name is mentioned. You sense heaviness when you see their picture. At other times, the signal shows up in the form of tension. You suddenly clash with them more often. Misunderstandings appear out of nowhere. Distance begins to grow. On the surface, it looks like simple human conflict. But in the spirit, there is a battle over connection. Understand this. When God wants to use you to cover someone, the enemy will often try to separate you from that person first. If he can divide you, he can weaken the spiritual covering you bring into their life. That is why, when you see conflict rising without clear reason, you must not only react emotionally, you must stop, step back and ask, what is really happening in the spirit? This is how the chosen read the signal correctly. The divine signal of this message is also in the timing. You are hearing this now, not years ago, not months ago, because something is ripening in the unseen. A decision is about to be made, a path is about to be chosen, a door is about to be opened in your family, for good or for harm. God is pulling you into position so that when that turning point comes, there will be at least one person standing in alignment with His will. You do not need to know every detail to obey. You do not even need to feel completely ready. The chosen rarely feel ready. They feel the weight. They feel the fear. They feel the uncertainty. But they move because they trust the one who called them. What matters right now is not that you understand everything, but that you recognize this message as a divine interruption, a spiritual signal that carries your name in the spirit realm. So, as you listen, do not treat this like ordinary content. Treat it like a spiritual appointment. Let your heart become quiet and your discernment become sharp. Pay attention to every nudge, every face, every name that rises in your spirit as we continue. In those quiet inner movements, God is pointing you toward the one who needs you. This is how the divine signal speaks. Through timing, through burden, through confirmation, and through a word like this arriving exactly when you needed it most. And remember, chosen one, God does not show you these things to crush you, but to position you. This signal is not a punishment. It is a promotion in the spirit. It means heaven is trusting you with insight others do not have. It means your prayers matter more than you realize, your words carry more weight than you see, and your obedience can redirect what the enemy planned. Receive this message as a confirmation that you are seen, you are necessary, and you are being called higher for the sake of your family in this moment. The hidden cry, discerning which family member needs you, chosen one. Now we must go deeper. It is not enough to know that someone in your family needs you. You must discern who it is. Heaven is not vague. When God sends a warning, there is usually a face, a name, a soul attached to it. Somewhere in your bloodline, there is a quiet cry rising, and God has chosen you to hear what others cannot. Many family members suffer in silence. They smile so they do not worry anyone. They say, "I'm fine," because they do not want to be a burden. Some of them are drowning in their thoughts, but still laughing in their photos. Some are standing on the edge of dangerous decisions, but hiding it behind jokes and small talk. The natural eye sees normal life, but the spiritual eye sees a storm forming over their head. You, as a chosen one, are not called to judge what they show on the outside, but to discern what is trembling on the inside. There is often one whose pain changes the atmosphere when they walk into the room, even if they say nothing. Something in you tightens. You feel a weight you cannot explain. You notice their eyes look tired, their energy feels lower, or their spirit feels dim. It might be the sibling who always acts strong, the parent who pretends everything is okay, the cousin who drifts in and out, the child who suddenly becomes distant. Their soul is whispering, but their mouth may never ask for help. That whisper is the hidden cry. Sometimes the hidden cry is wrapped in rebellion. There may be a family member who is always arguing, always angry, always pushing against everything spiritual. They reject your advice, they roll their eyes at the mention of God. They seem determined to walk down dangerous paths. On the surface, it looks like stubbornness and pride. But in the spirit, this may be a wounded heart screaming, "Where was love when I needed it? Where was protection? Where was God when I was hurt?" Their hardness is a shield, not their true nature. Underneath the noise of their behavior, there is a cry for rescue that only a discerning heart can hear. In other cases, the hidden cry belongs to the quiet one. This person does not create problems, does not ask for much, and often fades into the background. They might be the one everyone assumes is okay because they never cause trouble. Yet deep inside, they feel invisible, unloved, or unnecessary. They are the ones who say, "It doesn't matter, I'm used to it," when they are overlooked. Their pain is soft but dangerous because it can turn into depression, self-hatred, or a life lived far below what God intended for them. The chosen one is called to notice the people who are too quiet to be noticed. There is also the one bound by visible chains, addiction, destructive relationships, destructive habits, reckless choices. This family member may be stuck in cycles that everyone sees but no one wants to confront properly. Some judge them, some gossip about them, some have given up on them, but God will not give up, and so He places a burden in the heart of the chosen one. You feel grief when you see them. You sense how much more they could be. You feel pain when others talk about them like a lost cause. That pain is not weakness. It is the echo of God's heart inside you. To discern who needs you, you must pay attention to the patterns in your own spirit. Who do you keep thinking about lately without trying? Whose name has been rising in your prayers, even when you did not plan to pray for them? Who appears in your dreams, looking sad, distant, or in danger? Who have you felt an unusual concern for, a concern you cannot logically explain? These are not random emotional waves. They are spiritual indicators, pointing you closer to the person God is highlighting. Take a moment, even now, to be still inside. As you listen to this, notice whose face comes to your mind first. Do not force it. Do not choose by preference. Just observe. Sometimes the Holy Spirit will gently bring up one specific person again and again. You might even feel a little resistance, because that may be the one you feel least ready to deal with, the one you have been avoiding, the one who hurt you. Yet God keeps circling their name back to your heart. The hidden cry does not always come from the easiest person to love. You must also learn to separate emotional guilt from a true spiritual burden. Guilt says, "You are a bad person if you do not fix everyone." Guilt will make you feel responsible for things that are not your assignment. But a spiritual burden is different. It does not crush you, it calls you. It does not demand that you become a savior. It invites you to become an intercessor and a vessel. A true burden from God often comes with a strange peace in the middle of the concern, a deep sense that, yes, this is heavy, but I know I am meant to stand in prayer for this person. Watch how the atmosphere shifts inside you when you think of each family member. Some will simply pass through your mind. Others will stir something deeper: compassion, grief, righteous anger at what the enemy is doing to them, a strong desire to see them free and healed. That stirring is a clue. The chosen are not led by random emotion. They are guided by spiritual discernment flowing through their emotion. Pay attention also to conflict. You might be surprised how many hidden cries wear the mask of hostility. Is there a family member you suddenly cannot get along with anymore? Do conversations with them turn into arguments out of nowhere? Do simple questions become misunderstandings? Sometimes this is not just personality clash. It is a sign that the enemy is trying to sabotage the relationship because he knows that your presence carries their breakthrough. If you grow tired, give up, or harden your heart toward them, the enemy wins extra ground. This does not mean you tolerate abuse or ignore boundaries, but it does mean you look deeper than the surface and ask, why is the enemy fighting this connection so hard? Right here, in this moment of clarity, I will ask you for the second and last time in this entire message to take an act of faith. Go again to the comments and write only one number, 777-333-999-666 or 444. Just one. But this time, as you write it, hold in your heart the name of that family member you feel God is pointing to. You do not need to mention their name publicly. God knows exactly who you mean. Let that single number be a silent agreement between your spirit and heaven that you are willing to stand in the gap for them. Now understand this. Discerning who needs you is not about obsessing over their every move or trying to control their choices. It is about recognizing where your prayers, your presence, and your obedience are being requested by God. The hidden cry may come from the one who is sick in body, from the one who is battling with their mind, from the one who is bound by secret sin, or from the one who looks successful but is spiritually empty. You are not called to shame them. You are called to cover them. As you continue to walk with this revelation, you may feel waves of emotion, sadness, anger, compassion, even fear. Bring every one of those feelings to God in prayer. Say, Lord, show me this person the way you see them. Help me hear their silent cry the way you hear it. Give me wisdom to know what is mine to do and what is yours alone. In that simple surrender, God will refine your discernment. He will show you when to speak, when to stay silent, when to step close, and when to simply pray from a distance. The hidden cry is not always loud, but it is always real. And if heaven chose you to hear it, it is because heaven also chose you to respond. When you accept this, you move from being a passive observer in your family's story to an active instrument in God's plan for your bloodline. You are not just watching your family live. You are partnering with God to see them delivered, healed, and aligned. That is why this message found you. That is why your spirit is awake right now. The cry is there. The call is clear. And you, chosen one, are being prepared to answer. The spiritual roots of the battle in your bloodline. Chosen one, to understand why this battle in your family feels so heavy, you must see beyond what your eyes can observe. Many of the struggles in your home did not begin with you. They are older than your childhood, older than your parents, sometimes older than any living memory. In the spirit, families carry patterns and wounds that travel down the bloodline. What you are facing today may be the fruit of a seed planted long before you were born. In some families, poverty keeps repeating no matter how hard anyone works. In others, marriages almost always crack under betrayal, separation, or cold distance. In many bloodlines, addiction appears again and again, just changing its form in each generation. Depression, confusion, fear, and sudden losses move like a shadow. People shrug and call it bad luck or say, "That's just how our family is." But in the spirit, these things are often not random. They are rooted in spiritual issues that were never faced and doors that were never closed. Your bloodline carries a history written in the unseen. Some of your ancestors may have walked closely with God, and because of them, certain blessings and protection still rest on you. Others may have walked in rebellion, idolatry, witchcraft, injustice, or deep unrepentant sin. Such choices do not simply vanish when the person dies. They leave a spiritual atmosphere around the family, a trail the enemy can follow. Wherever no one stands up in God's authority to say, "This stops now," the pattern quietly continues. This is where the chosen one steps in. You are not called just to survive whatever runs in your family. You are anointed to confront it. God wakes you up so you can recognize that constant anger, that repeated betrayal, that heavy, tense feeling in the home as more than personality or coincidence. These things are signs of a deeper battle over your bloodline. You feel them more deeply because your spirit is awake and heaven is trying to show you what others ignore. The enemy hates families that carry potential for great light. If he can weaken the family, he can break identity and confuse destiny. The one under the heaviest attack is often not the weakest, but the one whose future carries unusual weight. When you see a family member under intense pressure, do not only see trouble, see a sign that their life matters in the spiritual realm. Some roots in your family are found in repeated sin, the same adultery, the same lying, the same secrets, the same control and abuse show up again and again. This does not mean your family is hopeless. It means there is a familiar pattern of darkness that has never faced steady, faith-filled resistance. When people believe this is just who we are, they unknowingly agree with it. When a chosen one wakes up and says, "No more, this is spiritual, and I refuse to partner with it," the pattern begins to weaken. Other roots grow out of unhealed wounds. Trauma opens doors when it is never brought to God. That rejected grandparent, that abused relative, that child who grew up feeling unwanted, compared, or blamed. Their pain can harden into bitterness or a deep sense of worthlessness. To survive, they may have turned to addiction, emotional coldness, or manipulation. The enemy loves these unhealed places. He uses them as anchors to keep the same pain spinning through each generation, changing faces, but not changing the story. As a chosen one, you are shown these roots so you can break agreement with them, not to condemn anyone. You do not have to repeat what you were born into or pass the same weight to the next generation. God raised you to be the turning point. When you see that the struggle is bigger than human weakness, you stop attacking people and start using your strength to fight in the spirit. The family member who needs you now is likely standing where many of these roots meet. Their struggle is not only about their personal decisions, it is also about the pressure of everything that came before them. They may be the sensitive one who feels everything. They may be the rebellious one whose rage seems older than their own story. They may be the quiet one carrying shame that does not even fully belong to them. You, awakened and chosen, are being positioned as a living barrier between them and the continuation of those old patterns. This is why you cannot treat their situation as small or ordinary. When God says, "Help them," He is not just asking you to comfort them. He is inviting you to stand between your bloodline and what has repeated for generations. Your prayers, your obedience, your fasting, your blessings spoken instead of curses. These are not tiny, private acts. They are spiritual tools that reach into the roots of the battle and begin to dry them out from the inside. The enemy wants you to focus only on what you can see. He wants you to say, "They will never change," or "Our family has always been like this," or "Nothing ever gets better for us." Those phrases are not harmless. They are agreements, and agreements give him space to remain. But when you, as a chosen one, change the way you speak and stand, the atmosphere begins to shift. You start saying, "This may be what has been, but it will not always be this way." With God's help, this ends here. There is also another side to the spiritual roots in your bloodline, the good that God planted. Maybe you come from praying elders, worshippers, generous hearts, or people who tried to walk upright even when they stumbled. Those seeds are still in the soil. Part of your calling is to call forth what is holy in your line, not just reject what is dark. You can ask God to stir every righteous seed that existed in your bloodline and let it rise again now. That goodness in your line is not dead. It is waiting for someone awake enough to call it forward. Chosen one, when you begin to see these spiritual roots, you stop viewing yourself as a victim of where you were born. You start seeing yourself as a warrior placed by God right inside that family. The attacks you have faced, the heaviness you have carried, the sensitivity that made you feel different. All of these were part of your training. Heaven has been preparing you to recognize this hour. The battle in your bloodline is real, but so is the authority you have in God. You are not fighting alone. When you align yourself with His will, angels stand with you, His Spirit strengthens you, and His word becomes your weapon. What was planted in darkness can be uprooted in light. What was repeated in bondage can be interrupted by obedience. What tried to claim your family can be commanded to let go. It begins with one awakened, willing, chosen soul who says yes to standing in the gap. Your assignment as the chosen one: intercessor, watchman, protector. Chosen one, it is time you stop seeing yourself as just another member of your family and start seeing yourself as what heaven already knows you are. A spiritual assignment, walking in human form. You were not placed in your bloodline by chance. You were planted there. You did not survive what you went through just to exist quietly. You were being shaped, refined, and trained. All the sensitivity, all the pain, all the battles you could not explain, they were preparation for this role. You are not ordinary. You are an intercessor, a watchman, and a protector. To be an intercessor means you stand in the space between a person and what is trying to destroy them. You carry their name before God when they are too tired, too blind, or too wounded to do it themselves. You do not gossip about their struggle. You groan over it in prayer. You do not repeat their weakness to make yourself feel strong. You quietly cover it before heaven and ask for mercy. When others say they will never change, the intercessor says, Lord, remember them. Touch them. Break what binds them and bring them home. As a chosen intercessor, your prayers are not empty words. You may feel small, sitting alone in your room, whispering a name to God. But in the Spirit, that act is loud. Every time you lift that family member up, you invite divine help into their story. You are asking God to send light into their confusion, conviction into their darkness, protection into their danger. You might not see the effect immediately, but heaven does. Your prayers become a shield that often stops attacks you never knew were coming. To be a watchman means you are spiritually alert while others are sleeping. The watchman stands on the wall and looks out, eyes open, senses tuned. In your family, you are often the first to feel when something is wrong, even if no one says a word. You feel uneasy when certain choices are being made. You sense danger when certain people come near. You notice the change in atmosphere in the home before anyone else comments on it. That is not overthinking. That is your watchman spirit doing its job. But a watchman who sees and says nothing is not fulfilling their calling. Your assignment is to respond when you sense that shift. When you feel a strange heaviness settle over your house, you do not just sit in it. You speak life, you pray, you worship. You ask God to reveal what is happening. When you see your family member starting to drift into places that do not feel safe, you do not ignore it out of fear of conflict. You take it to God first, and then, when He leads, you speak with wisdom and love. The watchman is not loud, but they are firm. As a protector, your presence itself becomes a covering. Protection does not always mean physically standing in front of someone. It also means refusing to agree with curses spoken over them. It means not allowing the enemy to use your tongue to wound the very person you are assigned to guard. It means when others speak death over that family member's future, you quietly speak life under your breath, saying, "No, they will live and not be destroyed. They will find their way back. God is not done with them." You protect their destiny even when they do not understand it yet. Your assignment is not to control, but to cooperate with God. As an intercessor, you bring them to God. As a watchman, you stay spiritually awake. As a protector, you guard their value and future. None of this requires you to be perfect. It requires you to be willing. You do not have to know every scripture or understand every mystery. You simply have to keep your heart surrendered and your spirit available. God chooses willing vessels, not flawless ones. Heaven already knew your weaknesses and still trusted you with this role. You must also understand that accepting this assignment will sometimes make you feel lonely. Not everyone will understand why you pray the way you do, why you cannot join certain activities, why you feel burdened when others feel nothing. They may call you too deep, too serious, or too sensitive. But remember, watchmen do not sleep like everyone else. Intercessors do not ignore what others ignore. Protectors cannot laugh at what destroys souls. Your difference is not a problem. It is your spiritual uniform. Wear it with quiet confidence. There will be moments when you feel tired. You may pray and see no visible change. You may speak and feel ignored. You may fast and still feel the weight of the battle. In those moments, remember that your assignment is obedience, not outcome. You are responsible for showing up in the Spirit. God is responsible for the timing and the results. Seeds of prayer often grow underground before they break the surface. Do not assume nothing is happening just because you do not see it yet. The unseen work is still work. Heaven records it all. As a chosen one, you must also guard your own heart. A wounded intercessor can become bitter. A tired watchman can become careless. A discouraged protector can become silent. So you must stay close to God, not just for your family, but for yourself. Make time to pour out your own pain to Him. Allow Him to heal you, strengthen you, correct you when needed, and refill your spirit. The stronger your connection to Him, the more clearly you will see and the more effective you will be in your assignment. Learn to speak to that family member from a place of love, not superiority. Remember, you were also rescued. You also have areas where God is still working on you. When you talk to them, let your tone carry compassion and truth together. Do not compromise the truth to keep them comfortable, but do not crush them with truth delivered without love. Ask God for the right moment and the right words. Sometimes a single sentence spoken at the right time under God's guidance can do what years of arguing could not do. Finally, chosen one, settle this in your heart. Your assignment matters. The enemy would love to convince you that your prayers are useless, that your watchfulness is pointless, that your attempts to protect this family member are wasted. That is a lie. You are standing in a place that many in your bloodline never stood. You are saying yes where others turned away. You are resisting what others embraced. Even if you are the only one doing it, it is enough for God to work with. One surrendered life in a family is powerful in the spiritual realm. You are an intercessor, bringing their name before the throne. You are a watchman, refusing to sleep through spiritual danger. You are a protector, standing guard over their destiny with your words, your actions, and your faith. This is your assignment. This is your calling. Do not run from it. Embrace it, even with trembling hands. Heaven stands with you, and as you move in obedience, what has ruled your bloodline for years will feel the impact of your yes to God. Practical ways to help that family member. Chosen one, Now that you understand your assignment, we must bring it down to earth. It is not enough to feel burden, to feel spiritual warfare, or to feel responsible. You need clear, simple steps you can actually live out. God does not just call you in the Spirit. He also guides you in your daily actions, in your conversations, and in the way you carry yourself around that family member. Spirit without action becomes frustration. Action without spirit becomes empty. You are called to walk with both. The first and most powerful way you help them is by covering them in daily prayer. Not long, complicated speeches, but sincere, steady conversation with God about their life. Speak their name to heaven. Ask for protection over their mind, for light in their confusion, for mercy in their weakness, for strength in their battles. Pray in the morning before the day begins. Whisper a short prayer when you think of them. Pray at night, handing them back to God instead of carrying them in anxiety. Over time, your quiet prayers build a spiritual shelter around them that they cannot see, but they will feel. There will be moments when God nudges you to go deeper through fasting. This does not always mean a long, extreme fast. It may be a meal, a day, or a specific comfort you lay down for a time. The point is not suffering. The point is focus. When you fast for that family member, you are saying, Lord, I am setting aside something for a while to seek you more clearly on their behalf. During that time, let your hunger or discomfort remind you to pray again. Many chains that seem stubborn begin to weaken when prayer and fasting are joined, especially from a chosen one. Alongside prayer, you must also be intentional about your presence. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is simply to be there. Send a message, ask how they are doing, visit when you can. Sit with them without always turning it into a lecture. People open their hearts to those who make them feel safe, not those who only correct them. Your calm, steady presence can become a doorway through which God's comfort walks into their life. When they know you are not there to judge them, but to love them, they slowly lower their guard. When the time is right to speak, ask God for wisdom first. Before a difficult conversation, pray, Lord, prepare their heart and guide my words. Then speak clearly but gently. Use language that does not attack their identity, but addresses their choices. Instead of saying, you are ruining everything, you can say, I care about you, and I am worried about where this path is taking you. The chosen one does not speak to shame. They speak to awaken. Even if they react badly in the moment, your words can stay with them, working in their conscience long after the conversation ends. Sometimes helping them means asking questions instead of giving speeches. Ask how they really feel. Ask what they are afraid of. Ask what they truly want for their life. Listen without interrupting. When they feel heard, they are more willing to hear you. The Holy Spirit often uses these quiet moments of listening to show you exactly where their wound is and how you should pray afterward. You are not just gathering information for yourself. You are gathering insight to stand before God with accuracy. There will be seasons when you cannot be as close to them as you wish. Maybe they are pushing you away. Maybe it is not safe emotionally or physically to stay near. In those times, do not mistake distance for helplessness. Even from far away, your prayers still reach them. Your words, spoken in the secret place, still cover them. You can set spiritual boundaries, saying, Lord, I cannot be near them right now, but I ask you to send someone they will listen to. Guard them where I cannot go. Helping them does not always mean being present in person. Sometimes it means trusting God to move where you cannot. In practical terms, you may be led to offer small, concrete acts of kindness, a message of encouragement on a hard day, help with something they are struggling with, a reminder that you are there if they ever need to talk. These acts seem simple, but they soften hearts that have been hardened by rejection and disappointment. Many people resist spiritual talk because they have never felt spiritual love in action. When your behavior reflects patience, kindness, and consistency, your words about God carry more weight. Protecting them also means protecting what is spoken around them. Be careful not to join in when others in the family speak curses over that person's life. Do not repeat phrases like, "they will never change," or "they are hopeless." Replace those words with quiet declarations of faith. You can say, "They are struggling now, but God can reach them." Or, "I believe their story is not over." You may not convince everyone, but you will refuse to give your agreement to the enemy's narrative. Your tongue is part of your armor. Another practical way to help is to invite God into the places they frequent, even if they never talk about Him. You can pray over their room when you visit, asking for peace to settle there. You can pray over the chair they sit in, the path they walk to work, the schools their children attend. Ask God to place the right influences around them and remove the harmful ones. You are not casting spells. You are inviting God's presence, which always brings light into dark spaces. Do not forget to ask God for specific strategies. One day He may tell you to stay quiet and only pray. Another day He may urge you to call them. Another time He may lead you to share a simple testimony from your own life instead of a long teaching. Your assignment is not mechanical, it is relational. Stay sensitive. The chosen one does not move by panic, but by guidance. When you move with Him, your efforts are multiplied. When you move without Him, you exhaust yourself with little fruit. Also, protect your heart from trying to take God's place. You are called to help, not to save. You cannot live their life for them. You cannot make their decisions. You cannot force them to love God or to change. If you try to carry what only God can carry, you will break under the weight. Do what He asks you to do, then step back and trust Him with the rest. Release the outcome to Him again and again. This surrender is not giving up, it is giving over. Finally, keep your own spiritual life alive. The best way you help that family member is by staying connected to the source yourself. Spend time in the presence of God, not only to talk about them, but to let Him heal you, correct you, and renew your strength. Read what feeds your spirit. Worship when no one is watching. Let God deal with your fears and wounds, so you do not pour them onto the person you are trying to help. A healthy, rooted, chosen one becomes a stable channel of God's love and power. These practical steps are not a formula, but a way of life. Pray. Fast when led. Be present. Listen deeply. Speak with wisdom. Set boundaries when needed. Refuse to curse them with your words. Invite God into their world. Trust Him with what you cannot touch. And keep your spirit strong. In doing these things, you are not just trying to help. You are partnering with heaven in the rescue mission over that family member's soul. Every small action, joined with faith, becomes a seed that God can breathe on in His perfect time.